books were printed in large numbers, and they went on to become the volumes most sought after by educated men of later eras.
像宋朝人的诗信书的用纸有用纸的特点，刻工有刻工的特点，绘字有绘字的特点，它形成它在版面里都看得出来。那这种版式就这种规制，这种样式，就成了其后元明清刻书的一种楷模风范。
Even today, exquisite Song edition books tell the world of the innovations and achievements of a great nation in a great age. These achievements can be traced back to Hangzhou, the hometown of Shen Kuo, as it was there that Bi Sheng invented movable type printing. At that time, Hangzhou was the greatest printing center in the entire world.
说北宋的时候，大概印刷的地点呢，就是有30多个地点；到了南宋的时候，就将近有200多个地方，都已经开始有印刷的活动。比方说，这个南宋的时候，连海南岛都已经开始有印刷的活动。宋代印刷，我想能够高度发展的一个很重要的原因，就是说政府的一些重视。
In ancient China, the central government and various departments in each dynasty took charge of the printing of books and records, and as a result, the spirit of Chinese culture was handed all the way down to the present day. At the same time, the evolution of books reflected the course of printing technology in ancient China. Before printing technology became popular and thrived, books were generally handwritten, and works were handed down through continuous hand copying. However, as errors and omissions were common in hand-copied volumes, in the early Song dynasty a new and rather strange kind of book appeared, the Book of Ink Rubbings. This is the famous Steely Forest in Xi'an, reputed to be the biggest and certainly the heaviest library in the world. Collected here in the Steely Forest are more than 3,000 steles from the Han Dynasty more than 2,000 years ago to the Ming and Qing dynasties, and many of them bear engravings of important ancient classical documents. For hundreds of years, scholars from all over China came here to make ink rubbings, and then they compiled the rubbings into volume form for reading and correction. It was a particular cultural medium of ancient China. During the Song dynasty, if one wanted to become a qualified scholar, one had to first read such a book. However, at the time, the books were literally too heavy. In point of fact, books printed using wood block printing techniques were already in use during the early part of the Song dynasty. However, due to a number of technological inadequacies at that time, the development of printing was hindered. On the one hand, engraving the blocks took a very long time, meaning that the printing of a single large-sized book could take several years or even decades. This was unlikely to help much in the spread of culture. On the other hand, woodblock printing required a substantial quantity of wood. As each carved block could only be used for a specific page of a particular book, a book such as the Buddhist text, the Tripitaka, required more than 130,000 engraved blocks. On top of all this, there was the problem of preserving the wooden blocks for future use. In the end, then, movable type printing made its appearance to meet the needs of the culture.
在宋代的时候呢，印刷术开始全面普及，这对宋代的文化发展起了非常重要的作用。一方面呢，就是书籍的形式，由于印刷术的普及，发生了根本性的变化。那唐朝的书籍是卷起来的，一卷一卷的卷子的形式。宋代的书呢，就和今天我们看到的书呢比较接近了，装成一本一本的，称之为册页这样一种形式。
所以宋代的理学为什么能够发展？我想很大的一个原因就是因为这种印刷书籍的传播，官府的刻书，然后跟 这个印刷术的这种技术的提高呢，就是整个促进了这个宋代的这个学术的这个达到了一个顶峰的时期。
The general introduction of movable type printing in the Song Dynasty naturally resulted in books becoming more widely available. This, in turn, promoted the development of science and technology and education.
In the year AD 1180, the famous Neo-Confucian Zhu Xi of the southern Song dynasty restored Stag Cave Academy and personally edited the Rule of Learning, which promoted scholarship, questioning and inquiry, careful consideration, rationality, and resolute action. In his later life, Zhu Xi introduced his teaching theory at the renowned Yuelu Academy. During the Song dynasty, both public and private schools developed quickly. Around 300 schools developed as important venues for education, teaching, and book printing, and mathematics and physics were included in the teaching curriculum. Some schools even had special mathematics and physics departments.
宋朝是中国历史上士大夫阶层的黄金时代，贫寒的士子通过科举也可以晋升比较高的社会阶层，加上中央王朝大力推行各级的官学的兴办，使得这个时期社会重视教育的风气越来越浓。
According to statistics compiled by experts, the Imperial College of the Mid-Southern Song Dynasty printed more than 10,000 book pages per day. The high level of printing technology achieved at that time provides us with the opportunity to read books written even before the Song Dynasty, such as the Treatise on Febrile Diseases. China was also the first country to introduce bronze block printing. Engraved on this bronze block used for printing advertisements for Leo's Needle Shop is the earliest recorded trademark design. The widespread use of movable type printing technology meant that large amounts of resources, social energy, and time were saved.
所以这个笔生这个泥活字的发明啊，应该说是在人类的文明的进步上是一个很大的一个推动力，也是一个里程碑。
After Bi Sheng's death, the movable printing plate he invented was collected by Shen Kuo, and so people also called the same type of movable printing plate Shen's movable plate. Recently, a newly discovered planet was given the somewhat unglamorous name number 2027. In order to celebrate the great contribution made by Shen Kuo to the development of the science and technology of the ancient world, the International Union of Astronomers decided to rename the planet Shen Kuo's planet. The time of the Song dynasty was indeed a brilliant era. It was during this time that the four great inventions of ancient China appeared, marking a high point in China's history of science and technology. From that time on, humans had the means to bring about a scientific renaissance, while at the same time, the spiritual creativity of human civilization was also moved forward. As described in a famous Chinese poem, the endless river eastward flows, with its huge waves gone are all those gallant heroes of bygone years. Of the 8 masters of literature of the Tang and Song dynasties, 6 are from the Song dynasty. Like the previous Tang poetry, Song poetry represented a significant stage of literary development in ancient China. While inheriting the national cultural tradition, the scholars of Song developed Confucianism to a higher level. Thanks to their knowledge of the relationship between the universe and nature, and with a passion to lead the people towards an ideal society, the scholars of the Song dynasty put forward concepts they regarded as essential to achieving a meaningful life. The philosophers of the Song dynasty believed that the people were the most important element of social life, and they thus sought to represent their desires and encourage their breadth of mind. Even today, The ideology of the philosophers of the Song Dynasty greatly influences Chinese culture.
宋代选拔了一批人才，那么国家在对这次所有对国家国计民生都特别重要的这些我们叫学科啊，就是说天文也好，医学也好，或者军事技术也好，或者是这个水利方面等好这些方面，它都会非常的重视，而且会出大量的人力来进行组织。如果没有这样的这个政府的这种参与的话，我觉得这个宋代就是说。 他很难在科技方面有这么多的成就的。
In the northern Song dynasty, the capital city Bianliang was already one of the world's most prosperous commercial cities, and it was also a world centre of culture and science. On an evening 800 years ago in the southern Song dynasty of Lin'an, one would have observed a prosperous metropolis with a myriad of twinkling lights. It is generally recognised by historians that during the Song dynasty, ancient Chinese feudal society entered a new stage. The development of material and spiritual life during that period was remarkable. The famous painter Zhang Zheduan left for posterity a magnificent work in realistic style entitled Along the River During Qingming Festival. Many experts regard this painting not only as a classic in the world history of art, but also as an invaluable resource in studies of the science and technology and social history of ancient China.
When Chinese people look back on their history, they tend to think of the Tang Dynasty as a cultural golden age. If you are looking for an age of enlightenment, then it's the Song Dynasty that's likely to stand out. In terms of the development of education and culture, science and technology, to name only a few areas, the Song Dynasty achieved heights that were not scaled again in the two succeeding dynasties. That's a period of 400 years. Thank you for staying with us on New Frontiers, and join me again next time when we'll continue with our exploration of Chinese civilization. I'm Qi Xiaojun from CCTV International. Bye for now.